alignment here, and there's such almost a circular motion in terms of this. Implementing the quality management standards isn't just for me a one-time activity that's isolated. You know, I think it's going to be highly likely that a lot of firms are going to have on those objectives and risks areas capacity challenges, because, you know, we're seeing across the profession real challenges in terms of having the right resource, the right level of expertise, in terms of the retention and attraction of talent. And this is going to be one of those areas that we need to be thinking about the solution to that challenge. What is the response to that? And, you know, the response, quite candidly, isn't we're going to go and hire more people, because there isn't necessarily more people to hire, because everybody in the profession is wanting to hire more people. Well, the opportunity to perhaps leverage technology to automate some of the more basic things, but to not just save the time, but also create that consistency that's needed when you're looking to create quality across the organization. Well, having the right technology will free capacity to be able to resolve some of the challenges around the resource side of things, to have the right people, the right skills. We're also seeing a lot of firms that's creating better career paths and skill development, because now all of a sudden people aren't spending their time rekeying things into a spreadsheet. You know, you touched on how technology is around us everywhere. For the graduates coming out of university or college and into an accounting firm now, technology is just second nature to them. And to put in front of them paper-based or desktop-based applications and be saying, right, this is how a big firm works or a small firm works or whatever, it's not creating that excitement and that enthusiasm for those people coming into the profession to stay longer term or to develop a longer term career. So I think some of these are naturally interlinked, and that's probably where some of the thought process is going to need to go here, to be able to actually identify, right, if we're going to implement this system properly, it's going to probably expose some of our weaknesses across the firm. And that's something we should embrace, because then we can come up with a plan to be able to address that. Technology is naturally cited a lot of the time as a solution to many things. It's not the be all and end all. There are a lot of things that firms can do that isn't implement technology to solve something. But I think this is going to naturally shake up the firm's strategy in many areas. And that's going to be an opportunity for firms to perhaps embrace a better way of working that's going to set them up for longer term success as well. So it's not just about let's check the quality box. I think there's actually an opportunity to think about where strategically the firm wants to be in 3 to 5 years at the same time as implementing these standards. But what do you think, Julia?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, that attractiveness of the profession is really important for new graduates coming in, because we definitely need more. I mean, some of the numbers of trainees coming into the profession are at their highest ever, because, you know, lots of firms have realized, I need more people. But there is a limit, as you say, and we're, I think, pretty much at that limit just at the moment. And so you need to make the profession attractive by it being something interesting. And it's not interesting for a really keen, bright graduate, which is typically what comes into the accounting profession. I know people might think that we're boring and dull, but we're not. You know, we're really keen and bright and interesting people. And if you give them dull things, because there's a lot of rekeying, there's a lot of manual writing. I mean, I have seen in the not too distant past, literally handwritten audit files, which I think, I mean, most of my kids are sort of, you know, in their mid-20s. If you get them to write something in handwriting, I mean, they barely know how to handwrite. I'm being a little bit unfair to them, but you know what I mean. They type stuff. But not only do they type, they expect it to be in a technology solution, which links it all together. They expect to be able to sort of look at some of the interesting aspects of, you know, what might be wrong? Where might a fraud be occurring in this client? How can I work out if there's a fraud? And just having a sort of a paper-based approach can, you know, it's not impossible at all to do a good audit with a paper-based approach, but it's not what the youngsters coming in are expecting, and it doesn't leverage the technological advantages that we have now that we didn't used to have. So, you know, let's go for it. Let's have a culture of really doing good audits in an efficient way, in a way that takes advantage of the tools that we now have available that we didn't used to have available, or they were too costly. But now, with the cost of people being very, very high in most of the economies around the world at the moment, you know, the sort of people we're talking about, you know, the cost balance question changes entirely. You might need to get some mentoring if you're the sort of 50, 60, whatever year old leader of a partnership, and you're thinking, yeah, but I'm not very good, I don't like technology, I prefer the old ways of doing things, then you're going to need to get some of the youngsters, or if not youngsters, young at heart, and those that embrace technology, to lead those sorts of projects, because obviously you're not going to want to lead that project yourself if that's not your comfort space. But other people will have those skills. So, you know, a bit of reverse mentoring, a bit of bringing on the youngsters to take charge of some of those things and really get the most out of the available technology that we have.